Okay, and welcome to a special video. I've sort of done this before with NECA figures, but I've never actually done it with Transformers before. So this is a 34-year comparison of the original Destron leader, the original G1 Megatron, and the Last Night Megatron. So we're going to discuss vehicle mode, alt modes, accessories, and then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes, the transformations and robot modes. I don't know. Sorry, I've never done this before. So first of all, we're going to discuss the Last Night Megatron. For weapon storage, his sword stores on the back via that tab. Nice looking sword. Works really well. Decent weapon storage. You can put it the other way around, but then it just looks like he's got eyebrows and just looks weird. Jet mode's really good. Obviously they couldn't have Megatron like that anymore. Oh shit, the camera's bloody... Let me just stiffen that up. Hold on. Right, so as I was saying, they couldn't have the gun mode for him anymore, just because of stuff that was going on with toy guns at the time. This guy's really, really good. He's decent. He's quite large if we compare him with a Five Nights at Freddy's figure that I made, my Chica, which has got new head sculpt, as you can see. This is 5 inches tall. Megatron is probably about... Actually, if I compare him to my Alien, he is just about the same height as the Alien. He's about roughly 8 inches tall, 8 inches tall from nose to boosters, and his wingspan is wingspan's about the same, I think. Let me just sort the alien's tail out. I'll explain this alien in a minute. Yeah, his wingspan is ironically the same. He's a bit like a cross. Let me see if I can just elevate my camera a bit more, a few more things, because this is clearly not working. There we go. So as you can see, wingspan and nose exactly the same. So he's really good. He's a jet, Cybertronian jet, and he's from the movie The Last Night. Not bad. Really fucks up the continuity though, excuse my language. There's a lot of continuity errors with it, especially when comparing it to Age of Extinction. In fact, comparing it to all the others, it has such bad continuity in a few areas. Like, Galvatron then turns back into Megatron. Maybe Quintessa had something to do with it, I'm not sure, but I highly doubt. Again, there's a lot of problems with the movie. Anyway, that's that one. Next, we come on to the Destron leader. Now, for those of you who are wondering why I'm calling him that, that is what he was known as in Japan. And for his accessories, well, you see, he stores all his accessories on him. He has a stock, which is several pieces, a silencer or suppressor, which is in several pieces, and a scope, which is also several pieces. Though the scope usually just keep them one bit. And here you go, you got the standard Walther P38. This is very undersized compared to the real weapon, and I know because I've held a version of the real weapon. And this thing is a lot smaller and lighter and easier to work with. Like the actual piece itself is a bloody heavy one. Unfortunately, you cannot aim down the sights unless you remove this. However, it is screwed in there, so you could very well remove the rail mounting system and just have a standard Walther P38 that obviously has no fusion cannon attachment. Not bad. Does have a rub symbol. Trying to see if I can get it to work. There, you can sort of see there. Okay, so that's it. Obviously these all come apart, so we're going to move those to the side, and we're going to discuss paint. Next. Now, paint is an interesting one because both these don't have a lot of paint. This guy's mostly moulded plastic. The paint it does have is this mustard colour, which I'm going to replace with some gunmetal at some point. This tealish silver here, more mustard. He does have some gunmetal dry brushing, gunmetal right here. He doesn't have any dry brushing like the leader one does. He does have a Tampograph Decepticon symbol right there on his pectoral. And that's really it. It's really just those two colours painted on. As for the G1, well, his robot face is painted. I'm going to have to show it off again in robot mode, but his robot face is black with painted eyes, and the face is painted silver with a few, obviously the black accents are from the black plastic, but the eyes are painted a goldish brass colour. I'll show that more in robot mode. Now for the materials. This guy mainly uses polypropylene with a few steel pins and screws. And that's really it. And also some transparent plastic or translucent or transclear, whatever you want to call it. Basically clear red plastic for the inside of the head, which is there. Ugh, that still pisses me off. And the cockpit. As for the original Megatron here, this has a really good amount of materials. Yes, it does use polypropylene and steel pins. However, instead of translucent plastic, he has die cast. And if you deploy the feet, you can actually stand the gun up, which I think is really damn cool. Just elevate my camera down, as you can see. I love that he has die cast. And most of the coloured plastic is cast. So this grey plastic is all cast, and the black plastic is, well, it's black plastic, it's cast in black. The chrome on here is a special type of plastic that they have shoved in a chamber, sucked all the air out, and then they put a metal vapour in, and when it settles, it gets this beautiful shiny look. Now, unfortunately, mine is a good example, but also not the best. Like, if you look on the iron sights, it's chipping off a bit. But that's no biggie. Also stickers as well. So materials, you could say, it's got like paper or some kind of, yeah, paper. And yeah, and a spring in him as well, but the trigger actually doesn't work because I actually disassembled this and it doesn't work. Next we're going to come to is, well, not size, detailing. Yes, detailing. Now the sculpt on this one is absolutely gorgeous. This is a gorgeous sculpt. It really works. It is a fantastic, I mean, all this detail is really nicely done. I know this is a computer modelled, but it's so nicely done. It is a beautiful rendition. My only gripe is not have Cybertronian lettering carved in there, but I can paint that myself or carve it in with an engraving tool or something. I know you can get them. And the sword as well is beautifully done. If this had blood on it, it'd be a nasty looking weapon, that's for sure. It's almost as well done as a NECA figure, and that's really nice. How it's got, the Hasbro started putting more detail in. As for the G1, it's simple, but it is what it needs to be. You get all the grip lines down here. More of it shows up in robot mode. You get these grills here. P38 is covered by this piece, but it does say it clear on the other side. You can see Walther P38. You get the safety, you get the hammer moulded in. You got a little flick switch to make the slide jolt forward again. You got this, which is for disassembling the weapon. The feet have this little bit underneath. I believe that was a faux version of the magazine catch, because you'd pull that back and the magazine would just come out and then you slap a new one in. He does have iron sights sculpted in, which I think is very nice. And the weapons themselves are very nicely done. Like, I mean, I'm showing it in the light here because it's all black, but like, you can see all that detail there. These screws here, there's screws here. There's a little twisty nozzle for the scopes and there, which is really cool. And this actually does come apart in 3 sections. I don't know why. And that one actually has a little scope barrel mounted in, so that's pretty cool. The silencer is exactly the same. It's got all the nice detailing. Comes apart separately. I have tightened these up so they do fit together a lot nicer now. Like my previous video, and sorry about that when I went crazy in it. I had never owned a proper G, like a really important G1 figure, but still. Next we have is the stock, and this comes apart again in 3 sections. For that, I don't know why that does that, and it's got this little slider on it. I believe and the peg, they might have been something to do with the Diaclone, because this was a Diaclone figure. You probably wonder what that's for, and that's for, you could load pellets in there, same as this. Obviously this one, you pull the trigger to shoot the pellets. With this, you have a little side, you pull back, let go, and it would fire them. It's deactivated. There's no mechanism in there. You've got nice grill patterns here. That sticker is incorrectly placed. It's actually supposed to be on here. But it actually looks kind of cool there. So if I get a Repro Labor shoot, I'll end up with 2 red arrows. You do have the date stamping on there, which I'll show that more in Megatron. And you got all this nice detail here. And now for Megatron's date stamping. Actually, we're going to do that now. Actually, we're going to get on that. I can't find date stamping on the Last Night version of Megatron, but this was a 2015, not 2015, sorry, a 2017 figure. So he's not really that old, he's only a year old. So he has 1 year difference between a 34-year-old Megatron. And as you can see, the mould wasn't even from the 80s. If you look, it's dated 74, so he's a 44-year-old figure, and that was the original date they were released as Transformers. This date here, 74, was when they were Diaclone. As you can see, this is, as you can see, made in Japan, Takara, Company Limited. So really, you are looking at a 33-year difference between both, well, 34-year difference between both of these figures. I think, well, 33, 34, whatever you want to take it, because the cartoon came out in 84, whereas the toys were made in 83, apparently. Or 40, actually no, it's a 43-year difference, because this is a Diaclone figure that was made in the 70s. So this is an astonishing difference on how Transformers have come over the years, and I think it's brilliant. Now for transformation, I'm going to do it off screen, because I'm going to do individual reviews of this, guys. I've already done an individual review of him. But the last night's Megatron's transformation, I'll just show it a bit real here. These are his arms, there's his head, and these are his legs. So it's really an interesting transformation in the fact that the arms actually do some really, really weird stuff. It's quite an interesting one. I like transforming him. I will show a few things on here. Like, for example, if I just show you the leg here, this is his ankle, which gives it insane ankle pivot. And then you can fold this all the way around, and then you've got his leg. And then this becomes a side skirt. So remember, that was previously up there. It just does that and then becomes a side skirt. So it's brilliant. Another thing to note, if I just get both these legs done, is this guy's really good. Like, none of the joints are sticky and stuff. Oh, and the arms, yeah, they go back up there. That is pretty damn cool. And then another thing, these come around and then they literally just, well, they're a bit pain, the bumps are split, but they literally come around like that. Unfortunately, his head is on the other side of the jet. Kibble, where his robot part's visible, you get a lot of it with the head and the underside, whereas Megatron, you basically have nothing, which I think is pretty good. His hands, we'll do articulation later, but he is really good. Great transformation for the last night Megatron. Let me just give it a go. We'll just pop in there and give him his sword. Actually, yeah, we'll put it in this hand. So that's that robot mode, and he does have some fantastic light piping. I can't really show it, unfortunately, but let me tell you, he is a great figure. For the G1 version, it's actually quite interesting. Unfortunately, because he's so tight, the legs are a little bit hard to get down, but they extend. And this is what's really cool. If you kind of position these right, you can actually get a Gerwalk gun. I don't know where the Gerwalk term came from, but it's just weird. So they go forward like that. And this is interesting how this actually comes up, and this whole section here is die cast. So these actually split, and then that all goes like that. I'll show it more in a minute. By the way, this section, you can actually, this is, people are going to hate me for this, but you can actually disassemble it without having to unscrew it. And this is I'm gonna hate this again because I've had to do this before. There we go. Now, no, it's not broken, right? That's just separated. All you do is you just line it back up. See? And that's how I tighten the joints in there. And that's, if you get a new sticker for that, you basically have to pull the whole unit off. I know a lot of people are not going to want to do that. And I don't blame you. I was scared when I first did it, but I did it, and the torso is now a lot nicer to work with. G1 is a lot quicker to transform, I think. And if I just show you, so you get the arms like this, and then the whole unit, because it's die cast, it'll go up there and then click into place, which I think is really nice how it forms the back of the gun. I really do like it. Actually, it's a great little transformation. It's pretty fun to do once you get the hang of it, and it's quite easy to get the hang of. And here you have both the robot modes, very similar in size. And then for these, I'll just form these into his battle stand. There are other modes, but we're not going to go over those, just because they are really stupid. Also, Dual Megatron came with this gun. I'm going to put him with his fusion cannon in a minute. I just want to get him holding this for the sake of the video. So put that in there, and then this. So, as you can see, whereas he has a sword, he has a gun, right, thing. Obviously the battle cat stand can work without the gun. And it actually looks pretty good without the gun. It looks like a kind of a turret sniper rifle. So here's the battle stand. It's very flimsy when it sits on the top there. So if we just move these out of the way, if we're going to get the accessories out. So as you can see, here are both robots. Great and great looking, both of them. And as you can see, if I show you here, you see what I mean by the brass coloured eyes and the silver face, silver paint on the black plastic face. It's really good. As this guy, as you can see, is very, very different. Again, the Michael Bay movies did really tweak a lot. Now, for robot mode accessories, of course, Megatron has his fusion cannon, but in the Diaclone line, that would actually just go onto this, like that. And he'd really come with this gun. Had this been just a standard Diaclone figure or some action figure that wasn't Transformers, because this wasn't originally a Transformer figure, he would have just had this. Again, without this guy becoming Transformers, this guy wouldn't exist. Yeah, a bit of weird history. Right, so detailing part 2. Sorry, I'm just scratching myself. Like, my leg's a bit itchy. So, as you can see, you've got the gun there, but still. Most of G1 Megatron's detailing is stickers. And here you can see all the sticker detailing. It's even very apparent on the side of the leg. And here's more die-cast. Die-cast, and then the whole back assembly is die-cast, so... And sticker detailing does continue on the other side. As you can see, it should be there, but it's all faded away, unfortunately, due to age. Age has not been kind to this guy. This guy, however, looks great. And as you can see, you've pretty much seen all the detail for him. What you saw in jet mode carries on into robot mode. And the sword can actually store on the back there. And it's not too bad. Now, articulation. This is where the G1 fails really badly. But he still puts up a good fight. His arms can rotate, weird in and out joint. His legs go in and out, and they do go forward. I dare not move that one, because if I do, the screw will just become loose. I mean, look, see? But it does go forward, so that's pretty interesting how it can do that. And that's all he has. This guy, however, is chock full, and unfortunately that unpegs a lot. So his head is on a ball joint in the ball peg, and the actual ball peg is on a hinge, so like you get it like that. And then you can actually rock it as well. So you can rock it on 2 joints and it rotates and pivots. Shoulders are on a cut joint. Then they go out to the side. Bicep. An elbow which bends all the way. And you can actually reach back and grab his sword, which is cool. Wrist swivel. It should be able to go down and to point his sword. No waist swivel, unfortunately. Legs, if I get these side skirts out of the way, which they move forward and out to the side. Legs go forward, back. Still tight, actually. Out to the side. Swivel. A bend at knee and a stupid pivot. And now for a final one, which is going to be interesting. This is sort of a continuation of the years they were made. This is value on the secondary market. Now, obviously, this guy may go up in time. He may go up a lot higher as the years progress. But right now, he's a brand new figure. If we're looking at it from today's standards, he can find in the shops, he's common as lint. This guy, however, is a bit of a tricky story. Because of what he turns into being a Walther P38, and considering the fact that it looks fairly realistic from a distance, with all this chrome, and the fact that it's the original Megatron, he is very pricey on the secondary market. I've seen one mint go for $250 US. I did previously mention this in my G1, in the actual individual review for him. This one actually goes for, well, I got mine for $89.99, which is a good price. Yeah, I got it for $89.99. Here's an expensive one. This guy he's about 36, but actually got him on discount for 20. Let's do some size comparisons. Who is with Chica again? As you can see, I think they're both in the 6 or 7 inch mark. He's a bit more than, just a little bit taller. If you compare him next to Corporal Hicks, his shotgun is in his holster. I've not lost it. I just, it fell out, so I shoved it in his holster for keeping. I can't understand, his ball joints and his feet are really loose. He actually comes up to the same height as the original Megatron, but if I put in Freddy Krueger there, you can see Freddy Krueger reaches the same height as Last Night Megatron here. And then just to add more insult to the mix, for the original G1 Megatron being a short sod, here he is with the pizza monster from Aliens and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've got a review pre-recorded, this guy ready to upload, it just doesn't make sense. But as you can see, pizza monster towers above them. Overall, which figure is the best? The final rating. Well, for me, I'm actually going to say both. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about what you want. A lot of people are going to like the new one because it's a newer figure. However, for those older Transformers collectors, you're going to be more inclined for this bad boy here because he's the original Megatron. And I know some of you younger viewers out there who like Transformers like, well, why would you want this thing? It doesn't do much. At the end of the day, this would not be real without this. This is where, when Transformers first started out in the 1980s, when it comes to Megatron, the entity, or the many incarnations he's had, this was the first one. This is the true Megatron. This is just another different Megatron, but this is the original Megatron. He is the definition of the word Megatron. So for me, even though I like them both, I'm going to side with the Generation 1 version because it's overall, I mean, it's actually better quality than this guy. And this guy's superb quality, but this guy is a lot better. He's solid. He's fun to handle. Unfortunately, he doesn't have this happening every 5 seconds where his chest will come undone. He is scary, though, to handle in some ways because of the chrome, because of the fact he was a £90 toy. I mean, I'm getting more confident handling him, but if he was to break, that's the problem with the G1 figures. If they were to break, you'd be pretty screwed. Trying to find a replacement. Certain ones are a lot easier to find, like Hoist. Finding a replacement for him is easy. I've seen loads of them on eBay or the secondary market. Megatron, on the other hand? Yeah, unless you need to hand over your kidneys to get a new one. That's all I'm going to say on that one. He is a hard figure to find. Anyway, so he obviously gets second place, but he is still a good figure. He is good. If you liked Last Night, get him. He's much more superior to the leader class version. In fact, he is the best Transformers movie Megatron figure we have ever had. Dark of the Moon was great, but he actually beats it. And the Dark of the Moon one was my favourite by far. He beats the Age of Extinction Galvatron because that thing was complete wank. And I know a lot of people are going to agree with me on that. He beats the leader class version of himself because they did a leader class version of this guy for the Last Night. That thing had a stupidly big fusion cannon that just didn't help the matter, and its gimmick and it was ridiculous. He beats the first movie Megatron on Voyager scale and leader class scale, and the same with Revenge of the Fallen. He basically beats every other movie Michael Bay Megatron incarnation, and Galvatron as well, if you really want to fuck up the continuity some more. However, G1 wins, baby. G1 wins. And now, Falcon Punch. G1 wins, homeboys. G1's the best. Sorry, but I'm a Frank Welker supremacist. Although, fun fact, actually, both these guys were actually played by Frank Welker. How cool was that? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry if you can hear people talking in the background. I know this has been a little bit different in terms of Transformers videos, but I want to do a 34-year comparison between these two figures because there's a lot that's changed. And you can tell by looking at them. So I hope you enjoyed. Leave down in the comments what your favourite Megatron was. Keep in mind there's so many Megatrons. There's the Armada, there's Transformers Prime, also played by Frank Welker. There's the game, when they did the movies, the games had Frank Welker play him in the games, which is quite interesting. They had the Armada, the Unicron Trilogy one. They had the Beast Wars. They had the RID, and I mean the original RID, not the 2015 shite. The original RID from the early 2000s. The Megatron that was a multi-changer. They had so many Megatrons. They had G2, where it was a tank for the first time. They had loads. So just comment down below what your favourite Megatron was. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on, and as always, please, because YouTube has seriously screwed up their algorithm, if you know any other people that like Transformers, please share this video to them and get them interested, because I need a lot of views, to keep this channel going, as it's going to start dying out soon if I don't keep producing content, which is going to stink. So with that, I'll see you next video. Peace.